Good evening, everyone. The 550th meeting of the Planning Board of the Village of Depew will come to order. Can we have the roll call, please?
Member Ignier.
Here.
Member Fedorovich.
Here.
Member Matuzek.
Here.
Member Morawski.
Here.
And Chairman Maciejewski.
Here. Could everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Notification of emergency exits.
The emergency exits are located to my left and to the rear of the room. In the event of an alarm or emergency, please move in an orderly fashion to the exits and evacuate the building.
Thank you. We have one item on the agenda tonight. It's for the property located at 559 Panora Street. Could we read the legal notice, please?
Please take notice that the Village of Depew Planning Board will hold a hearing on Thursday, December 1st, 2022 at 7 p.m. A pre-board meeting begins at 6:30 p.m. in the OEM conference room in the council chambers of the municipal building, 85 Manitow Street, Depew, New York, to consider the application for submission by Ryan Renshaw of Shenny and Associates on behalf of the Muslim Community Center of Western New York for the property located at 559 Panora Street, Depew, New York, 14043. They are requesting the following: requesting site plan approval and a special use permit to operate a community center in an R1 zone as per Chapter 260, subset 260, 23A1, under the guidelines of Chapter 260, subset 26032B, and any and all persons interested in such application will be heard at this time.
Thank you. Who's here representing the project? If you could come forward and for the record state your name and relationship to the project, please.
Hi, my name is Ryan Renshaw, representing Shenny Associates and representing the Muslim Community Center of Western New York at 559 Panora.
So, the spelling?
Yes.
Okay. Could you give the board a synopsis of what you're proposing?
Sure. My client recently bought the building at 559 Panora and also the adjacent site or property next to it. So they're joining two properties into one property, as the application says. What they're doing is renovating the existing house. It's a two-family house, and they're changing into a community center. So they're going to renovate the exterior, the inside. The building needs some love. It's been neglected for some time, and they're planning to clean it up and fix it up so it looks nice on the outside and inside. Also, creating additional parking spaces on the new parcel they are joining at this project. So they'll be creating 15 parking spaces for the membership. The building's about 2,500 square feet currently, and they're going to repair the exterior and also perhaps add a little bump out on the rear to fix the door and then one of the entrances. It needs some repair. The other issue is the membership is growing, and they need a facility to house their membership. So right now, the membership is under 25 people, and this building will adequately support what their needs are right now.
Okay. When you say community center, what will that entail as far as it being a community center?
Well, they have weekly meetings at the facility. Also, they have prayer once a week on Fridays, which are a certain time frame.
Okay. And I know you've been working with code enforcement.
Yes,
And there are numerous variances that are going to be required.
there are.
And after reviewing our plans here that you submitted,
we've got a lot of questions, a lot of things that weren't answered, like on the information sheet. Actually, nothing was answered. But again, yes, we know about the zoning, the parking lot, and we see nothing as far as drainage, where it's draining, and I'm going to turn that over to our engineers right now to address that.
Yep. All right. Hi, Terry Boyle from Nussbaumer and Clark Engineering, Civil Engineering. So I looked at your plans and that, and I know the outline, you've supposed to check boxes on your sheet here. So a lot of that was missing on that outline per se there. But the biggest concern I had was your parking lot, drainage-wise. I don't see any catch basins. I know there was one on the street in Panora. There's one north and one further south. I think this is a higher point, so it probably sheets back each way. Obviously, you have quite a bit of asphalt in here, so you're collecting quite a bit of water there. You've got yards in the back here, so there's going to be flooding issues if you don't address that. Your concerns where to take the water on that. So there's no grades on there to see where the water's going with that plan there. And then also the ADA accessibility with the handicap parking stall down there. Where they're going to go, what entrance are they using for this building? Are you going to supply a ramp there, ADA compliant ramp? You know, that kind of stuff has to be shown. Type of asphalt, things like that. But dimensions, parking lot dimensions, obviously the setbacks were a problem here and there that you found out with the code enforcement person over here already with that also. Parking lot, it's the lighting, I know you showed a light pole detail or a call out on this plan here. Where is it on the plan? Where would you locate that? As far as, I know it's dark sky, obviously that's compliant, everybody's using right now. Where are you gonna locate that? I know there's a utility light pole on the property behind it there already. Maybe that would suffice for what you need. I didn't look at that closely at night over there, but that's another concern there. Neighbors, obviously, with brightness and things like that. So yeah, in your disturbance area, I noticed on the EAF form there was a little bit off there. I don't know, parking lots are considered to be a disturbed area when you aren't taking things out like that. So it's quite a bit of material you're going to be moving there when you put the new asphalt in and stuff like that. So there was a larger disturbed area. It would be 0.17, and you had 0.08 on your plan there. So a little bit different. Landscaping, we provide landscaping to the code with the E-code on their website. Tells you about the landscaping, what they require on that also would need to be shown on there. It's not much, but still you have to show something on their trees. There's trees and stuff like that that they expect to be on there. So also sidewalk accessibility on this side. I'm not sure. I know there's a existing door on the north side. There's one on the south side, and there may be one in the back possibly. I'm not sure if you're putting addition on there.
Yeah, so they're going to address the entrance of the handicap on the east side. North is going north-south, I believe.
Right, yep.
So we'll address the accessibility from
So that
the
might be
east
the
side.
you put it on that side, I'm guessing, for an accessibility ramp.
Yeah, that's why we have to repair that because there's a big step up on the north
Right,
side.
right, there's all steps around the entire.
Regarding most equipment, this is just for special use. We will submit construction documents addressing a lot of those issues, but right now it was more of the type of use that is allowable because it's a special use permit. So we're just addressing the broader allowability. Then when we submit drawings for construction building permit, we will definitely address a lot of those issues will be addressed.
Okay. Would it be helpful if I put a memo together for you on what we expect to be on that?
Yeah, that'd be
Submit that to
great.
you
So we
guys.
would meet your expectations. So most of those that you mentioned, we are aware of, but
Okay.
it doesn't hurt to just make sure we satisfy all the requirements that you request.
Okay. I will make a comment letter for you then and address, and so you'll know what we expect then.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we submit based on those comments.
Okay. I think that's a fair statement. Yep.
As you know, it is a broader concept. We just want to make sure the type of use is allowable because it's a special use, and that's what we're doing. Those concerns that you have are, obviously, we'll have to address those, and we're prepared to do so.
Okay.
I think procedurally, the town or the village can approve kind of a piecemeal submission. And we do have to address everything Terry's bringing up before we can give you a full site plan approval.
Okay.
So we can, give you a warm indicator and table it,
I think,
but,
yeah, that'll be.
that's got to come from you.
I understand that. It's makes a big sense. I understand that because those concerns he has are would be addressed if we were submitting form of structured documents.
Right.
But we are not doing that point because of the nature of the project. But yes, I see your point. We can look forward to perhaps get a feel from the board and see what you feel, then we'll resubmit based on the comments and answer all the questions. And would we have to re-present, or can we submit drawings answering the questions and we get like a review from you guys that way?
Procedurally, what we would do, if you ask us to table this, we would vote to table it and adjourn it to a later date where we'd have an opportunity to represent and resubmit. So your application fee would already be paid. You can just revise your submissions a little bit. Is that correct, Don? Or would you need a whole new submission? I think we're just adjourning, so they can.
Yes.
They can
We
do
try
this.
to do it that way.
Yeah.
There are, some other things that the board was looking at, besides what Terry was mentioning, about building lights, any signage.
There would not be signage, any illuminated signage at least. If any signage would be a light, small, and obviously you have building code requirements where you have signage in front.
Correct.
A size, but it will not be illuminated or projected light or anything like that, so.
Also, on your parking proposal, there is nothing showing for snow storage.
Actually, was it on the southeast corner?
It fades away. If you see the,
Northeast corner would be the storage.
yeah, there's a little fading white
Oh,
box.
okay.
So storage would be over
Okay,
here.
yeah.
We have the dumpster on the southeast corner.
And you have to have a dumpster enclosure.
Dumpster and.
Dumpster enclosure, correct, yes.
Okay.
And when we use ramp lights on the drawings, and it's dark sky compliant, we'll address the location, obviously, because Terry
Yes,
asked.
that's one of the things we're gonna need to see is the four sides of the building, so we could see the lighting, we could see the entrances.
Okay,
So as Sam has said, we're gonna need that before we can do any kind of final approval.
understood, that makes sense. We were under a very tight deadline for the November 1st or December 1st, a couple of days. So we were initially doing just the use. Now, the questions you asked about the details, yes, we will address those.
What about hours of operation?
Hours operation, mostly Monday through Friday, and on Friday they have a prayer session between 12 and 2. 1 to 3, I apologize, 1 to 3. So they would have influx of people going just for that special time.
And going back to the signage, you said it would not be an illuminated sign, but there would
No.
still be a sign. We'd like to see where that's going on the building also.
Okay,
So those were a lot of things that would need to be
understood.
on your resubmittal.
Okay, well, we'll put a exact dimension sign, location. We'll address that.
Yes, the lighting is very important.
Understood.
That's huge, especially, you're obviously familiar with the property. There's other residential buildings in close proximity. We want to make sure we're not illuminating any of that area.
Okay,
Right. Yeah.
And you said there's 25 members now,
yeah. But I said under 25.
under 25.
Yeah.
What is going to be the maximum capacity you're going to be able to?
No more than 30 to 40 at max.
In that building?
In the future. So that would meet the parking requirements if you're going that direction. I think it's 3 to 1 ratio, so it'll be no more than 40 people in the future. Right now it's under 25.
And you're planning on using the second floor of that?
Correct.
Are there going to be bylaws or something that limits membership? Is that going to be memorialized anywhere?
That is. No, it's a small community. One of the residents actually lives across the street. They just need someone, place where they can get together.
May I just have your names for the record, please? Just that whoever's speaking, please.
MD Anwar Hussain Joshi. MD ANWAR Hussain HOSSAIN. Munshi is last name MUNSHI.
Okay. And yours, sir, because you were,
MD Hussain, HOSSAIN. Aligan Mohammed Hussain.
Thank you.
MOHAMMED.
And ma'am, your name too, please?
Alice Gordon.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the board? Comments from the board?
I have a question though.
Sure.
For Donnie, actually. For lot coverage on these sites, is there a percentage on there, do you know, that they have to abide by? Or is that gonna come into the special use again? I'm trying to find. something.
Anything, well, that would all be covered under the zoning portions. Let's see, I do have that here, though. Well, the amount of people per
It's 20
parking space is one thing, but he's talking about,
25% coverage, I
Coverage
think
on
is,
site, per se.
well, 25%, I believe, was for the building, but as far as the street parking, oh, wait a minute, no, that's under there too, hold on. I apologize.
Okay.
It's 23R1, I need 32R. Over here. All it says on here, under the 260-32B, is a maximum building coverage shall be 25%. Doesn't say anything about parking.
Parking lots and
Well, let me go to
little
the
site.
original, which is, I have the R1, let me see if it states it here.
Because if you're looking at because they're staying separate lots as far as the sublot.
Well, they would have to combine this in order for,
Right.
they would have to combine both lots.
Okay.
that's our deal. Yeah, they
I get-
purchased the two lots and combined it, this
Right.
process.
And that's going to have to be approved by this board too, because there's two separate owners of these lots at this time?
No, it's the same owner.
Same owner,
They bought both of
combining
them.
them, so that's going to have to be part of this process too, the approval from this
Oh.
board, correct?
You're merging the lots into one, you're saying?
Yeah.
That's right. Are you keeping them separate lots?
No, they're merging to one.
Merging them to one.
We're gonna merge it to one. That require approval?
Process.
I think it'll be one of the processes from this board to approve
I don't
that. We've
think
done
you-
that in the past
I don't think
with,
you need planning board approval to combine a parcel.
No, if they go through the county and they get it,
Yeah.
as far as I'm aware.
we have in the past had
That may have been
submittals
a
that we have
requirement
approved.
that they
It's
obtain it
relevant.
and do it, but
To considerations of certain things, setbacks and other stuff like that, if you have two parcels combined, but, other than an administrative consideration, I don't think that comes before this board.
Okay.
That would just be building
We've had it in the
approval,
past,
wouldn't it?
I've brought it
I
up.
believe
I
it.
think they're just getting confused with something else.
So
Yeah, it was on.
my understanding, usually when I apply for building permit, and you combine the parcels during that time period, so when it's assessed, it's one parcel, one building. So usually when you file for building permit, that is the process when they combine the parcels. Is that correct in this jurisdiction?
Yeah, I wouldn't, you would have to, before you could apply for the building permit for the rest of this, you would have to have those combined, for sure.
Okay, does that be combined in a separate, application, or is it done?
You do that actually through the county and through the town, and then you submit it to me saying it's done, they'll give you something saying it's
Okay.
been done.
The assessor's office or something.
Yeah, assessor's office, I believe you'd contact for that.
Okay. Another question I would have during the zoning variances, now that this is how we're proceeding, could we apply for the zoning without approval or planning?
ZBA usually waits for our recommendations before they move on anything.
Okay.
I guess they could apply, correct, Dan? I don't know if it's going
They
to go
can
anywhere at this point.
Technically, I think they can apply, yes.
Yes.
Now, they may have to table it if we don't have an answer for them before they get to that meeting.
Okay, so that's why. There was some discussion when we drop up the application about that process. Some jurisdictions allowed that you at least submit the form regarding, you could do double dip, not double dip, but overlap the process application. So you're saying you still need the recommendation?
They usually go by the recommendation of the planning board, correct?
Okay.
Because it's not gonna do you any good to go through zoning and pay for that, and go through all that rigmarole if they deny it here on this end anyways.
Understood. Okay. Is there a way to get a feeler for the zoning from this board regarding that?
So I think you can't have one without the other.
I know, but I can at least,
Well,
Get
this
the
board is
temperature,
separate from
perhaps?
the zoning board.
oh, is it the
They do not make the same.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
So what it's a separate board, but what I'm saying is without site plan approval here, there's nothing for the zoning board to consider. They can't grant you the setbacks for a
But if I don't get the
project.
setbacks, then why go through the planning board?
I'm sorry?
If I don't get the
Get-
zoning approval, then the process of the planning board is mute also.
Well, then you can revise the plan to adjust the setbacks as necessary.
Well, it's existing conditions, though. I couldn't really move the building. It's an existing building, so that's why I'm asking.
I'm not familiar with the setbacks you need from zoning,
Oh.
so I can't.
I have them all right here.
I have them all listed down. That's why I'm
but
asking.
That's not a discussion for tonight. I
Understood.
mean,
That's why I'm just
you
asking.
think, if you get site plan approval here, odds are you won't have much of an issue with the zoning board going forward, but I can in no way make that guarantee.
Understood.
And like Don said, there's no sense you go into zoning until you get the approval here.
Okay.
Right, the inverse is true as well. If you don't have site plan approval, zoning
Yes.
will say we need to wait and see what planning says.
Catch 22.
It is.
Any other comments from the board members?
Yeah, another thing too is if you're really interested in the things that we need, if you go through the Village of Depew General Information Sheet, those pretty much list all the things that we're looking for in a submission. So,
And that was the sheet that I said nothing was checked off on?
Yes.
The whole packet, there's, I believe, 4 or 5 pages, nothing was checked off on the whole thing, so
Understood.
we can make sure that that is done also, please.
Okay.
Legal, Sam, anything else?
No, I think I've talked enough tonight.
Oh,
Code enforcement, Don? Eh?
no, we kind of have an understanding where we need to be, I think, at this point.
okay.
I would, in my opinion, I'm not telling you what to do, but I would ask for a table. And,
And it's once a month, I believe.
Correct,
So I have to wait to next month.
correct.
And I have to spend the next 2 weeks, those answers. Is there a time I get comments from Terry by any chance?
Yeah, I can probably get those together for you next week.
I would
Send them
appreciate
out to you.
that. Then we'll have enough time to submit to the deadline for the next one, right?
The deadline for,
It's in 2 weeks, isn't it?
No, I can have Don give you that date tomorrow. It might be sooner than that, depending upon where the calendar falls.
Okay.
I know we're kind of put you on a tight deadline here, but the faster we get this back in, the better off you'll be as far as your timeline.
Okay.
But it's up to you if you want to push it back to the next date after that. If this one's going to be too soon for you to get it completed, then all you got to do is just ask, and we can always move it back.
Another question would be, it's still a residential unit at the moment.
Yes.
Is it possible to get a building permit to repair existing conditions, even though the type of use is not defined?
What exactly are you referring?
Well, exterior, I mean, it's the weather.
You could make repairs on the exterior if you're just talking about siding, soffit fascia, gutters, things like that. Does not require a permit. Roof would require a permit. All right, and anything structural would require a permit.
Okay.
So if you got to get in there and replace some siding and
Window replacements,
as long as well,
existing conditions, if I do replace in kind, I'm assuming you need a permit for window replacement.
not for like and kind, but the problem you're going to run into here is you might have different requirements according to.
It's a good point.
You're going from a residential house now to a commercial building. So you're going to fall under a whole different set of plans. You need to speak to your architect about that, is what it may be that you need.
And
Okay.
Don, correct me if I'm wrong, but that will fall under the public assembly ordinances?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just, due to winter, we're just trying to make sure nothing
Right,
gets worse than
right.
the time to come and doing some minor repairs.
But I think what Don's saying, why waste the money putting in something that you're gonna have to replace again if this gets approved?
Understood. I just try to see what the guidelines are, see if we can, things may come up in that time period. Like we had some, the weather obviously the last
Correct.
month, it caused some issues on other projects. I haven't assessed their building since then. So I just want to see what I can and cannot do.
So, I mean, if you want to replace windows, that's
Yeah.
completely up to you. You could do replacement windows, no permit required.
Okay,
All right, so that's, you could have that. At your own peril, obviously, if you have to change something because of the new use of the building, that's, it is what it is.
okay.
Okay?
Yep. Just a broad question. I appreciate your time on that.
Anything else from engineering? Terry, Dave?
If we can get at least like drawings electronically.
Yes, we can submit them PDF. Is that what you're asking for?
PDF would be
Yeah,
fantastic.
answering those questions. The questions you're asking, we do a lot of site plans. We're aware of that. We'll address those
Okay.
quickly as
We'll get
possible.
those comments there. I got your emails right here, yeah.
When sending in the drawings, just make sure they go in to the village copy.
I would say, yeah. I think I literally have to go to you first anyways, right? And then
Usually-
you CC to them?
Yeah, it usually comes as a package. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Electronically, we can just turn things around a little.
I bet you can. It does help, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Dave, Terry, anything else?
I think we're good. Like I said, I'll put that letter together and I'll address comments to you, and that should set you up pretty fast now, what you gotta
Okay.
get done.
Very good. Any public concerns or comments? So I think as the board, we realize that this is obviously going to be a plus from the existing building. But we have to make sure we are following our procedures the right way and doing everything the right way to make sure that we are meeting the code and not putting the village at any risk of liability. So by doing the things that we've asked you and resubmitting, this project will probably move on. But we need that stuff in front of us for engineering, for this board, for code enforcement, for final approval.
Understood.
Okay. So at this time, I guess the question to you is, would you agree to tabling this? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay. With that, a motion would be in order.
I, Member Matuzak, make the motion to make a recommendation to the village board to table this project until, is that the right wording? This project until we get the drawings that we're requesting.
Is there a second? Second. On a motion by Member Matuzak, second by Member Igner. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Member Egner.
Aye.
Member Fedorovich.
Aye.
Member Morowski.
Aye.
Member Matuzak.
Yes.
And Chairman Maciejewski.
Yes. 5-4, motion's carried. So again, if you get that in as quick as possible for the deadline, so we can get you on the next meeting and we can hopefully move along with this project.
I appreciate your time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
With that, a motion will be in order to adjourn the meeting.
Go Bills.
Motion by Member Borowski, seconded by Member Fedorovich to adjourn the meeting at 7:27 PM. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, everyone.
Go Bills. There we go.
Give us the, she didn't
Put
give us the
anything-
arrow. We're gonna have to wait.
We have some that resolved, but I don't know.
She hooked up around.
When Sabres are playing, take the Sabres with you.
We're still live. We're still live.
That's what this was more about. We've had mixed reactions concerning liquids.
To the nature of the